Hello there, War Gamers, and welcome back to Combat Mission Red Thunder, where we are playing out another turn. We're basically sweeping through the enemy forces, and we are very near to finishing this battle. So near, in fact, that I know our Panther attack and our aircraft has managed to break the morale of the enemy general, as a matter of fact. So he says we'll be finishing this soon. Um, yeah, so I guess we will be. And this ISU-122 took another shot again, and another pockmark on its face, but still it lives. In the meantime, our forces are mostly moving up. The Panthers are coordinating towards the left. We see this ISU withdrawing. Some of our units are shooting at the enemy infantry here and there. But yeah, no big deal with regards to tank warfare. Oh, there we go. I shot at the enemy infantry. Yeah, our Stug over there has contacts in the middle there, so he can take take pot shots at that. We still haven't found that OT-34, but okay, we won't now. So I guess this is effective now. I was expecting one more turn to play out, but there you go. So, let's see now. We've secured the objective and we've got enemy casualties, but that's mostly because of the enemy surrender. But the enemy still has 127 men on the map who are okay, and we have 106 of them. We also have, I think, higher casualties over here, just slightly though, and we've lost 3 tanks to the enemy's 6. We've also lost 3 other vehicles, which includes 2 trucks and 1 Kugelwagen. And he lost 1 ISU-122, I imagine. So if we actually review the map, let's see what's been going on here. So, the enemy had a couple of infantry teams over here. Oh no, they're not infantry. They're just tankers. Okay, so this flank was completely open by now. A couple of tank crews. There were some scouts over here. Whom we had seen. Sorry, and in the center of the map there were some machine gun teams, which would have been useless against our tanks. So I guess that's that. And 1 bailed out tank crew. Okay. Now there's a lot of infantry hiding in that forest over there, which, to be honest, I was not expecting. I certainly did not see them. I've seen one of the teams over here who took care of my scouts who are trying to move through here, but so I guess it was good I moved them through there, because that meant I didn't try anything with my tanks going through here. That would have been bad. The enemy does have grenades. Oh, I see he split his teams, which is kind of a bad idea with the Soviets. But there you go. Okay. So we would have to storm this forest. It would have been a pretty hard thing to do. There's that OT-34 sitting up right there as infantry support, I imagine. Excuse me, and my voice seems to be going for some reason. Anyway, so that's the enemy units there. There are a couple of infantry units in the village over here, which we would have cleared out. I was expecting slightly more in there. And some scouts here and there. Oh, no, that's not scouts. Some infantry, some bailed out tankers here and there. Now, this guy, bloody lucky. He took so many bloody shots. I mean, just look at him. So many shots. He bounced everything except for 2 shots to the front, which probably turned off his gun. So that's certainly something. So if I were the Soviet commander, let's see now, Sergeant Likhachev would certainly deserve a medal. What else have the enemy got? So this is the tank that took out our Stugs. Right, and they suffered, and they also inflicted 10 casualties. So I imagine they also shot at our infantry here and there, but yeah, that was pretty good. The other tank over here took out one of our Stugs. This guy didn't take out anything. This guy was responsible for taking out one of our SIG 33s, and this guy took out the other. So those two tanks over there. And this ISU 122 managed to secure no victories. Okay, that's fine. Our Tiger tank over here did a pretty good job. He took out 3 T-34s, so that's a pretty good job indeed. The Stug managed to inflict some casualties on the enemy infantry. This guy didn't manage to do anything, and yeah, I imagine neither did any of these guys because they got caught flat-footed as they were moving up. So that's that. We've also got Panthers who also did some damage. There we go. One of the Panthers took out one T-34. The other Panther took out just some enemy infantry, and this guy took out the enemy IC-122. So actually most of the work was done by the Tiger, but the most effective effect on effective effect. Oh, the Stug over here also took out the T-34. Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah, but the sort of most effective blow that we've delivered was done by these Panthers over here, because they just appeared out of nowhere and they took out most of the enemy tank force. Well, half of the enemy tank force, 2 T-34s and 1 IC-122, which is everything the enemy had on this wing. So, yeah, that's probably why the enemy lost his resolve at the end there, which I'm not surprised. I'm a little surprised that he didn't actually try to use this guy to do some damage before we finished, but I guess he was a little tired of getting things killed. I see forward observer over there. And there isn't that much interesting going on this map apart from that. Now, so, okay, I'm a little bit surprised to be winning all these battles, because typically, and I know it doesn't show, but typically Mira kicks my ass in most games. So I'm gratified and a little surprised. Um, and given that I keep on winning, I keep having to analyze the situation where I've won and trying to figure out why I've won. And I guess the question, I mean, I guess most of it is because of scouting and because of keeping the tactical reserve right here. I mean, the game was won by my tactical reserve of 3 Panthers. There's no question about that. If we didn't take out those 3 tanks there, we wouldn't have been able to move up over here. We wouldn't have been able to utilize our Tiger to the extent we have. We would have had to keep him in the back because those guys set up over here. They had some pretty good shots on me, and this guy especially prevented me from moving up on the left. Right. So that's that. I think the bad thing I did was try to move up my Stugs initially. I think I needlessly lost them. I was pretty certain that we could move through here without being fired at, just without being spotted. But to be honest, I haven't checked. I kind of assumed it. And this is what happens when you assume things. I'm surprised though how sturdy these Stugs were. They usually took one shot, well, from a click away, but they took one shot without being destroyed completely. In that, well, none of them are burning. Um, a lot of them have surviving crews and stuff like that. The the Tiger did really well on such a long distance. It's really the sort of fight it was designed for, I imagine, or at least performs well in. We're fighting from a click away, so he doesn't have to be too worried about being penetrated from front. Unlike when we're fighting on short distances up to 200 meters, where basically every shot penetrates. In this fight, I was pretty confident that if we dueled with one T-34-85, the odds were in our favor, let's say. We had a much greater chance of knocking him out faster than he knocked us out. And indeed, this was usually the case, although we didn't really get shot up that much with this Tiger because there was usually a Stu somewhere also shooting at the same target. So yeah, I think there's only one poke mark on the Tiger right there. Um, so that's that. Another thing, we've so our advance was going through very obvious spots, and I didn't really think of this spot as obvious for an advance. Just moving in through here, I thought the enemy would think we would be moving up over there where that Stug is, because this is a very good defensive position. So we could set up here and we could try and move things down through here and maybe move them up all the way to that farmhouse or something. So that seemed the obvious way to do it, and I didn't do it because it was the obvious way. I was expecting artillery barrage on this position, and in fact there is a TRP on it. But none of that happened. So the enemy correctly predicted where I'll be heading, and I guess he thought I'd be setting up positions over here and moving up. Well, we did set up positions, although not exactly where he predicted with the TRP, but yeah, we did have some infantry in this group of houses. We did move through here, and he did catch us as we were moving, which was very bad for us initially. Fortunately, the Tiger managed to pull through. The other Stuk that did manage to survive also managed to do some, at least confuse the enemy forces enough so that the Tiger can take its shots. And we managed to just move up our infantry way in front over here into that house, into these houses, and that gave us a sort of bridgehead against enemy infantry incoming. Although this battle didn't feature much infantry action, to be honest, we mostly used them as placeholders for our advancing troops. Um, so that. Yeah, whereas I wasn't expecting the enemy to basically set up position over here on the ridge and try to engage me in long-range combat, which is probably the wrong thing to do with the Soviets. I was thinking they would try a knife fight, so I was thinking they would try going through the ridge over here, like they would. If I were the Soviets in this level, I'd probably move up here with my tanks to this position behind the forest and try to figure out whether I could move through here, which, as it turns out, you can do fairly well because only anything up here on the ridge will interfere with you. I'd move up over here and try to break through here. And then I'd try to take this ridge to get to the enemy. Over here, just try to engage them, try to get into close distance and engage them from there. I would use a lot more smoke if I were the Soviets. I wouldn't try to set up a situation where I'm dueling with enemy forces because, like I said, the Tiger and the Panther, they have a pretty good chance of winning that duel. Um, yeah, so that's what I'd have done with the Soviets. I don't know whether that would have worked though, but I'm kind of thinking it might have had a better result than what we've seen here. What I could have done better? Um, well, I could have not wasted. Okay, I did something really dumb, which is move up my artillery into a forward position for no particular reason, really. I was thinking if they got here, they could have been used as artillery from behind this house. But that means they had to move up through an open approach, and they paid for that. I had no artillery very quickly. This guy, yeah, he got into a rough spot trying to engage an enemy T-34 in long-distance fighting, which, if you're a truck with a gun on it, is not a good idea either. So yeah, that entire center position there, I could have just left them right here in the bloody woods in the forest. against the slope, and they could have been just as effective and also alive. And we would have had smoke and artillery and stuff like that. So yeah, I certainly botched that up. I botched this advance. If I put down some, let's say, if I put down some smoke somewhere for the duration of my advance, that would have worked as well. If I just didn't advance so quickly and so rashly, if I did it on hunt, I imagine I would have been able to take a couple of shots at the enemy before they destroyed me. So that at least would have made me feel better, but also might have been effective in killing the enemy because basically we were engaged by one tank. Well, two tanks really, but mostly just the one tank destroyed most of our Stugs here. So if we engaged carefully, one of the Stugs might have been destroyed while the other one managed to penetrate, and that would have been an immensely different result if we had all of our Stugs over here or most of our Stugs on the left flank. We could have pressed forward and taken a forward position over here. Yeah, but we didn't. So that's my major two mistakes. I think I did a pretty good job securing this hill with just a minimal force. They did their job. Um, they fired a couple times. They didn't manage to hit anything just due to bad luck. Even one of them even got their gun turned off. But mostly it was a pretty good position to take, and they did their job. They secured whatever area of fire they had, and the enemy was prevented from moving up through the middle with their tanks. So that's good. Yeah. So that's that. Some mistakes were made, but I managed to pull through somehow, mostly due to my tactical reserves. So with that said, I think I'm going to finish this right now because how long can you talk, especially when your voice is giving out? We'll probably be starting another game next time, although my enemy's morale probably has to go up a little tiny bit before we engage again. Um, this time he chooses the battle though, so he'll probably choose something that will destroy me rightly. Maybe he won't give me the Germans this time to command. To be honest, I'm still not very comfortable fighting using the Germans. I'd much rather fight with T-34s and ICUs, stuff like that. I just feel more comfortable. Yeah, but that's that. Game over. See you guys when we start another one.